So I have the pleasure of having the last presentation of the day. Is that right?
Second to last.
Second to last?
And hit the arrow.
Okay. Whew. So I'm probably one of the youngest people in this room, and that means I grew up like that. Can you hear me? Okay. That means I grew up like that, with my fingers on a keyboard, held up before I could walk. And I've always had an interest in also creating the things that run on computers. And when the MIT Media Lab came out with Scratch in 2007, I was immediately hooked. It was terrible. And people were creating these games, these projects, by just sharing a bunch of stuff online, and you could learn from them. And the way it works is you create a single actor, and you just snap together a few blocks to control the behavior. And you have one module. This is a very simple example. And you just start piecing those together, and before you know it, you have a game. And I think we can do this for bots. Here's a quick example. I snapped together two bots, and I know some people disagree and said you can't create a bot in a minute. You can create a bot in a minute, and it's a real one. Here's one. You just say hello, and the bot responds with hello again. And I think that is exciting enough to want to build on that. So I created BotBlocks, this tool kind of in a web environment where you can just snap together a few blocks and immediately interact with it in conversation. Now, conversation is about interacting. And when I'm talking to you, I am building a context. I'm learning more about you as we move along. And that's kind of the first feature that I wanted to add. Let's put in a question. Can I ask you a simple question with a simple answer? And can I then use that answer in conversation moving along? Can I make new messages that contain that? So that's that. You see that in action. I'm asking how are you doing? And the response is taken. Now here's the other thing. When people have real life problems, like which damn bus do I take? You don't want to pull up an app. I just want to ask someone. I just want to talk to someone and ask, hey man, which bus do I take? And because of the work that people in this room are doing, we now have software like Lauwers AI that Dan presented earlier that just tells you, that reads a sentence and gives you back. Bus is the method, Penn Station's the destination, tomorrow and 8 are indicators of time. And now, I was thinking, this is essential for bots. So even the simplest bot building environment needs these features. So I thought, maybe I can put these in blocks too. So you create a few blocks like this, and all of a sudden you have this language understanding available in a very simple form. And you can actually start piecing this together. So here, I'm just, passing a user's message to Lewis, and then saying back, let's see if I can find you a bus from origin and destination. You'd have to run some magic in the back to actually find a bus. It doesn't currently do that. The other thing that's important about conversations is that they're not scripted. They're not linear. They shift around. I say something, you're like, I don't care, peanut butter, and you have to move on. Our tools need to support this. So the first feature to that extent that I tried adding was branching. So in these bot blocks, those shifting topics are represented by separate stacks, kind of different dialogues that you can switch in between here based on a single condition. I'm asking you, hey, do you want pizza? If yes, let's move on to pizza. Now here's the other thing. We're human, and when we talk, we're smart while we talk. We're thinking in the back of our head while we're communicating. Bots should do the same thing, even when they're built out of simple visual blocks. So the first feature for that reason was, let's have some calculation blocks. Let's ask you, how many coffees can I get you? And then compute your total price and add some taxes, have some variables to store things in, and you can see it in action on the right. Now there's some limits, and I was just exploring here, and these are some questions that I had and I stranded on. A lot of bots are important because there's information out there, and they're really good when they find all this information and they use it. Could we do this with blocks? The other thing is, Scratch is completely meant for education. No one believes it's real programming. They should, but they don't. Can we have local business owners, real people, build something that's useful for them in a few blocks? I think yes. And then the last thing is, I had a ton of fun building this. I had a ton of fun building bots with this. In the spirit of the MIT Media Lab, this should stay playful and engaging. I learned the intuition behind trigonometry, coordinates, inputs, concurrency when I was a pretty young kid back in Belgium from using Scratch projects. And I think bots lets us do the same thing for fuzzy information, probabilities, language understanding. And I think really with the right thought, with these people in this room, we can make some progress there. So if you guys would like to chat, my contact information is up there, and you can find me here and tomorrow. Thank you.